it's like, 9 times out of 10, I come home and you're asleep watching something like a Stanford lecture. I'm like, yeah, the professor's hot and she can talk to me about neuroscience any day. Also, sorry, I got sidetracked. The point is, I've been watching lectures.
I have been too.
Love the TED.
Sequoia Capital has a series of videos, and the name of, I guess, the collection of videos, or the name of the show, is called Ascent I think. I like who they've had on the show. Let me see if I can find it. I like who they had on the show. So I've been watching that, all the TED Talks on AI. Mark Zuckerberg has done 3 or 4 major talks, like hour and a half long podcasts and talks in the past 2 weeks. They just dropped Llama 4. Llama 4.
Yeah. Do you know much about Llama? I know that it's open source. So
It is open source. He's pioneered open source in machine learning and AI, which is interesting to wrap yourself around. I mean, the last time that we were talking about DeepSeek, right? And so as he was being interviewed, he was just basically like, they were talking about how all the other like language model labs are open source now. And he's like, yeah, that's because we're open source, So it was funny.
Well, yeah, if Zuckerberg wants to believe it's because of him, sure. But there's two. So from all the AI lectures that I have been watching, I've been watching Google's former CEO talking about AI, and different people talking about Gemini, different people talking about, and what I can understand is that they are two different schools of thought when it comes to AI. There is, we should make everything open source so that we can scale rapidly, so that people around the world can scale rapidly, so that we can better understand how everything works. This shouldn't be a closed system because people need to understand the thought processes and like how it's making its decisions, how it's choosing everything. We need to understand all this stuff. It should be out in the open. And then there's the other school of thought that is like, that is not responsible. You cannot give the entire world the power to make their own AIs because A, it uses so much energy. B, um, if anyone can create their own AI now, then bad actors could create their own AI that can help code hacking codes and take down weapon system and whatever, and like, was the Spain Portugal power outage any related to a cyber attack? Like, uh,
So that is inevitable.
right.
And there are so like AWS has part of the architecture. One of their products is called Guardrails, and I think it's the greatest title for the concept of like, after you have the foundational model, you've got the machine learning, you've got sort of like Amazon has this bedrock layer, and then before you start connecting endpoints, you need some sort of guardrails that are going to look at whether or not people are inputting personal identifiable information. There's no way to move forward without having security kind of like at the base level of that. I was part of a webinar series where we were talking about how behavioral AI and like phishing, where essentially scammers do outbound calling to unsuspecting people over the phone. And usually their phishing attacks are a combination of like, it could potentially be email and text and voice. But now with like these voice generators, you don't even have to be talking to somebody who has an accent from the other side of the world. You're actually talking to AI. The attack tactics have exploded. Bad actors are already using AI. There's also a concern about different countries, right? One country getting access to open source, maybe backdooring into data, living there quietly and siphoning out data from another country that's an adversary, whether they're just kind of like doing that in the dark or whether they use it to like infiltrate. So there's like so many secure issues that have to happen, but they have to happen anyway. The culture of cybersecurity has to just kind of exist foundationally in all the data that we're sending and sharing. Like regardless, we all kind of have to live better as far as how we secure our own data. And I think it's inevitable. It's inevitable that bad actors, like there's going to be, wars are going to be fought over data that's accessed with AI. And that's just the unfortunate reality of new technology.